Emergency water supplies are about to be carted into a Queensland town in southern Downs as it prepares to run dry. Unless the town gets major rain, Stanthorpe could run out of water by Christmas. Now, a $2.4 million water trucking trial is about to take place, carting water from the nearby town of Warwick. Joining me now is the Southern Downs Mayor Tracy Dobie. Tracy, thanks so much for your time. This sounds like a huge operation. What's involved?
Well, it is. It's the biggest water carting project that's ever been undertaken here and possibly in Queensland, if not Australia. So we'll be moving 1.5 megalitres of water a day. That's equivalent to 1.5 Olympic swimming pools. So this will be from Connolly Dam in Warwick to the Storm King Dam in Stanthorpe, where that $2.4 million worth of infrastructure, emergency water infrastructure, has been constructed. And we will make sure, of course, that the residents of Stanthorpe and the rural residents who need to buy this water because their house tanks are dry, we'll make sure that they have access to high-quality drinking water.
Tracy, this is extraordinary, really. Just tell us about Stanthorpe. Is the dam that you have access to, has that completely run dry? Do you not have access to groundwater? Just give us a little idea of what you're facing.
Well, Stanthorpe on the Granite Belt is at the head of the Border Rivers catchment. So once the water has gone through here, we only have one chance to catch it. This is why water storage is so important here on the Granite Belt. Storm King Dam is very low now. We'll keep some water in that dam for environmental purposes and to make sure that we have an emergency backup if for some reason we can't get water through for a day. But right, you can hear all the traffic at the moment. This is a high production area for horticulture, for apples and grapes and summer vegetables, and soon in the background you might hear the scare guns going off, because even though we are in the worst drought ever recorded, many of the horticulturalists here are still trying to get some product to market this summer.
Okay, so how much is this costing? Who's paying for it and who gets access to this water?
Well, the Queensland government has very generously come to the party to pay for this water. So we've installed $2.4 million worth of infrastructure, and the carting itself every month will cost $800,000. So the residents of Stanthorpe connected to the reticulated water system, the industries that are connected to the reticulated water system, they'll have access to the water. And any rural resident who needs to buy water for domestic purposes will also have access to this water.
Okay, so the farmers and the horticulturists still need to buy this water, essentially. This is a huge undertaking. Can you give me an idea of how important your area is and why, I guess, there's special dispensation to cart the water in there? Because this is not happening for every town up and down the East Coast, and there's a lot of towns in drought.
Well, there are a lot of towns in drought. This water is not for agricultural purposes. That's a separate topic altogether. This is for urban users.
Wow.
This is for the residents connected to the reticulated water system. And we as a council, the state government, the federal government has an obligation to provide urban drinking water for our residents, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, it's just a basic need. So at the moment, obviously, there's restrictions in place and residents are using as little water as possible. How has that affected your residents practically every day? Are they minimising their showers? Are they not watering their gardens? What's happening?
Well, our residents are amazing, as I'm sure they are in every part of Queensland and Australia, but here they're particularly amazing. We went on to water restrictions in the middle of last year. We identified that if we didn't get summer rain over December 2018, January 2019, that we were going to be in difficulty here because we don't have that below ground water on the Granite Belt. We only have above ground storages here. And without inflow, and there has been no rain, it's not like it's just below average rainfall here. We've had no rain. And so we started preparing this a long time ago, and our residents have been gradually moved down from using as much water as they wanted right down to where we are now at 100 litres per person per day. And every resident in our region is doing what they can, as is every business that is connected to the reticulated water system. They too are doing everything they can to reduce their usage because they appreciate that we have to share the water that we have. And we're sharing this water across the whole of our local government area. So while we're trucking this water into Stanthorpe. Our first big full day of trucking is the 12th of December. While we're trucking this water into Stanthorpe, we're taking this water from other parts of our region. So the whole region is on water restrictions at the moment.
Tracy Dobie, really appreciate your time this morning. All the best to you and the residents of Stanthorpe.
Thank you very much. Can I just say I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I'd like to compliment all of our fellow Queenslanders and others in Australia who've donated so generously to our region during what is the worst drought ever recorded.